Bear with me.
Thank you for doing this. This is the part I don't know how to
Of course,
do.
no worries. The part when I get anxious. Okay, we're live.
Hi, everyone. I'm Meg Daday from downtown Chicago, guest hosting for James today, and I am super excited. We've already had a great conversation on the pre-show about the exact touches that everyone is doing to their database, and we are going to be continuing it with an awesome conversation about Mike Michalowicz's book, Clockwork. So I know a lot of you probably aren't familiar with this book, but he is coming to Advance in November, and I am obsessed with Mike Michalowicz. His book, Profit First, changed my business and really kind of changed my life 5 years ago. So I love him. And so can't wait to get in the conversation. But first, a couple tell me something goods. I think a few of you had your hands up before. So Renee, how about tell me something good?
Mm. Hey, good morning, Meg. Thanks so much for the opportunity. I'm just like really excited because today I am launching my first live probate power mastery training program for agents across the country. And so, yeah, I'm just really excited to be bringing this to the industry and to so many pivot inspire people.
Amazing. Awesome. Kathleen, do you have tell me something good?
Yes, I do. Thanks, Meg. It's so great to have you hosting. Uh, it's always a joy and a pleasure, right, when we go to closing. But today I get to go to closing with my old neighbor's son that graduated my daughter. And it makes me realize, keep in touch always with those that we live next to or had something to do with in life. But in our business, when we get to see new beginnings for new home ownership of young adults that we know. It's such an exciting journey. And I look at it, I just kind of hit me today that it's a privilege. We get this privilege to be part of new beginnings and new journeys. And it made me realize I've got to reach out to all of my neighbors that I live next to and be more intentional because I get to help them. So switching those words that I get to help them, and it's a complete honor. So I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, I think we do lose sight of that because deals are so difficult these days. It's like there are no easy deals, and just remembering that it is a privilege to help people and they could have had a million other choices. And so the fact that they came to us is definitely something that I don't want to ever lose sight of. Awesome. So we are going to shift gears a little bit here. So I bet you're a bit like me and you're tired and it's been a long year, it's been a long 3 years, and every single deal feels really tough right now. I feel like I should be getting more focused, but instead, I think I just sort of spin around in circles, constantly thinking about my business, but not really feeling like I'm actually getting anything done. So even though I'm not actually working all the time, it feels like I'm working all the time because I'm always thinking about who I didn't get back to, what I should be doing, to generate more business. I feeling guilty for not doing enough lead gen. And so it just kind of like feels like a constant sort of anxiety spiral. So um, I loved this section of the book Clockwork. So Clockwork is Mike Michalowicz's book all about designing your business to run itself. And the whole theme of the book is setting up your business so you can take a month off of your business. And what that made me kind of think about is a lot of us don't take any time off. And there's someone in my office who actually takes 2 weeks off, like basically totally shuts his business down. He's an individual agent with an EA for 2 weeks at Christmas, and then he's starting to also do 2 weeks in July. And that to me, like, gives me heart palpitations. I feel like I could never do that, but that's what I thought about as I was reading this book, Clockwork. Like, how many of us would love to just really be intentional right now so that when the holidays come around, we can almost totally shut down over the holidays because our clients aren't going to be doing anything anyway. So, yes, Kim Walls is in the chat, and I thought of her because I also saw her post about how do people actually take a full day off? And it's just challenging in this industry to just not have this. So let me just read a quick portion of Clockwork. So he says on page 10, so at the very beginning of the book, it's a great listen to because Mike Michalowicz is hilarious. I'm very excited to see him and John Acuff and James together at Advance because they're all just like so funny off the cuff. Okay, so he says entrepreneurs aren't different from any other human in that when something is familiar, it becomes comfortable. We are most comfortable working relentlessly. And while you may say you hate it and can't take it anymore, the truth is you are familiar with it. And when you're familiar with something, as ugly as it is easiest to keep doing it. Stop bragging about your work ethic. Stop forcing yourself to push too hard. And please, please, please stop saying you're getting shit done. So he continues with what he calls the survival trap. The survival trap is what I call that never-ending cycle of reacting to whatever comes up in your business, be it a problem, an opportunity, in order to move on. It's a trap because as we respond to what is urgent rather than what is important, we get the satisfaction of fixing a problem. And this is what I do all day long. I am great at running a deal. The adrenaline rush of saving something, the account, the deal, makes us feel as though we are making progress in our business, but really we are stuck in a reactive cycle. We jump all about fixing this, fixing that. As a result, our business careens to the right, then to the left. Then we throw it in reverse and jam it forward. Our business is a web of misdirection, and over the years it becomes a knotted mess, all because we were just trying to survive. So what I wanted to talk about today is just how to get focused over the next 50 business days until Thanksgiving. And really, we have like 1 month to close deals the rest of the year. So, you kind of have to get something at least in progress before October 15th in order to close it for 2025. So I would like to hear, what are you committed to for the next 30 days that's going to get your business back on track so that you can take 2 weeks off over the holidays? Orly, let's start with you.
So for me, it's not getting my business back on track. It's consistently being on track. It's what I said in the pre-show. The 10-10-10 is a constant. It makes me feel like I can leave the office knowing that I did the minimum, the minimum. Now, my word last year was freedom. And when I said freedom to myself, it was freedom to do what I want, freedom to live my life, freedom to live my life and work in between. And as you know, if you follow me on social media, you know that I can take off 2 weeks. Granted, yes, I have leverage and that helps, but I probably take off about 3 months out of the year at 2-week clips. And my business runs on automatic pilot because the events are already scheduled for the year. The mailers are going out. The anniversary cards, as you heard before, are a month ahead, so they just get dropped in the mail. The birthday cards with the gift card for Dunkin' Donuts are already done 2 months in advance, and I put a little date for my assistant to just put a stamp and mail those about 2 days before the birthday. So if you set a foundation very simply and you start setting systems, and this doesn't happen overnight. This year, I really took my foot off the gas, I will tell you, and I was curious to see how much business I would have taking the foot off the gas and simply doing the things that I've always done on automatic pilot. And the business is running itself. The calls are coming in. While I was in Greece, I got 2 come list me calls saying, I see that you're on vacation. I want to list my house. Call me when you get back. So when you
Yeah.
build a business like that, you can afford, and it takes time. This doesn't happen overnight. I've been doing this for over 30 years, but I've built a foundation where everything is running pretty smoothly, where I just have to tweak.
You are living Clockwork, which I love. And so, that is definitely goals. And I think having the leverage, my AirPods keep falling out, but doing that as a solo agent, I just need to start chunking it down and
So if you're a
keep it
solo
super
agent,
simple.
I mean, my team has shrunk right now to 1 TC admin who also does my marketing, as opposed to 3 admins that I used to have, and 1 buyer's agent because of various reasons. And that's enough. So if you don't have that kind of leverage, Before, when I was a single agent, you know, we used to do this with people in the office. You cover my business, I cover your business with one VA. So you can do this as a solo agent using the resources you have around you. I had 4 listings last week. I don't do open houses personally. I had 6 other realtors who are happy to do open houses, and I've already got offers coming in on all 4 listings. I choose not to work on weekends and do open houses. I could probably triple my business if I did all the things that I used to do. I'm choosing not to at this point in my life. I would rather spend the weekend with my husband having fun and let somebody else get the business and the buyers while I get the offers as the listing agent. I'm okay with that.
Exactly. Yes. And you've put the constraints around what your life by design looks like, which is amazing. Thank you so much. Authorine, how about you?
Good morning to you, Meg, and good morning to everybody else. And so it's exactly what Orly said, right? When you're working on your business and you're with your family, if when you're working on your business or in your business, you're 100% present, there's no guilt. When you're
Right.
with family, there's no guilt because you've done what you're supposed to be doing. So when you're with your family, you're 100% present because you know everybody's getting taken care of, business getting taken care of, and if you don't have leverage, go get a part-time assistant, right? Family is always going to be first. And here's something that we forget. If you're running around like the Energizer Bunny, you will get sick. And if
Exactly.
you have no health, what is business to you? What is it? There are 2 women in my neighborhood who just had strokes. That's always a
Wow.
reminder to me to just slow down and act like a human being who lives a complete life. Stop acting as if you're all just little robots, because you're not. You're nothing without your health. You can take a day off. You are not the president of the United States. You're simply not that important. I'm sorry. You can take a day off for your health's sake. That's all I have.
Yes, I completely agree. Yes, Tyler said there's no real estate emergencies. I, as Orly was saying, I do now have a showing partner who does almost all of my showings and leverage other agents in the office to do the open houses on our listings. So I think that as an individual agent, the first things that you can leverage off are the TC work as well as showings, because there's someone who's willing to do all those showings for $25 an hour and to do open houses for free. So I haven't really worked on Sundays in a long time because I'm just not doing the open houses on our listings. So if I pop in for a showing here or there, I'm always happy to do that. But I'm able to sort of like set those constraints in place and spend time with my nephews going to a kindergarten soccer game if I want to. But um, I think it's hard for those that feel like they're the only ones, and especially the admin tasks. So getting those systems in place, I'm excited to get to Anna because she mentioned tracking, and I think just knowing exactly kind of like what you want to be doing every day and tracking it is super important. So Lainey, how about you?
Hi, it's so good to see you and hear you this morning. And I'm one of those that get so busy being busy. I'm clutch at that. Like, I got that. Um, I need, and then I feel guilty because I didn't do what I was supposed to do because I have all these things that I want to do, and the 2, 2, 2, the 3, 3, 3, the 5. Like, I want to do all these things, and then I'm so overwhelmed I don't do any of them. And that's really how I am. Um, and then today on early birds, like we were talking about tracking, and I am the world's worst tracker. I have no idea where anything comes from. I have my sellers and buyers are all over the country, so it's not like I've got like this little cute little compartmentalized thing. It's a total, pardon my French, but it's a shit show. And it's just, oh, Dean, please give it a rest. But I'll tell you, like, it's just been terrible trying to juggle all of these balls. So now I have like, my coach is like, okay, so now I've got the admin, but I need more business. So it's just all trying to get everything together. And I'll tell you, it's a struggle. It's definitely a struggle for me, and my ADD does not help because I'm like, ooh, squirrel, and ooh, squirrel, and ooh, look at that rabbit. And I have like lists of things that I need to do, and tracking and getting my stuff together, like, and going on vacation. Like, I don't usually go on vacation, and I booked a bougie vacation and I leave next week and I cannot freaking wait. But a bougie vacation. So I, I've never done that. So I'm really thrilled about that one. I won't be making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches like I did on my honeymoon. So, it's just, it's a very different thing for me to do this. And I'm literally like already on vacation in my head, and I have to not be that way. My goal today is to do 5-5-5. That's my goal, and I will accomplish it, but I need to clean up command too. It's a
I feel you, and I think there's a lot of people on this call who are similarly ADHD and struggle with this is exactly what I struggle with as well. We have so many great options, so many ideas, but implementing one of them. So, like, definitely do not clean up command. Write out the 5-5-5 on an index card, like the smallest sheet of paper that you can find, and literally check off the boxes as you go. Or even like the 3 different index cards for each of the 5-5-5, just to get started and stay on track. I struggle with all these same things. And last week I gathered, it ended up just being like 3 of us for a power hour from 11 to 12 Central. And we each committed to what we were gonna, who we were gonna call for that hour. And it did the trick for me, because I had to literally sit down and be in front of Zoom for an hour instead of running around. And that was a game changer. So I want to get to the next 3 or 4. Vicky, how about you?
Good morning, beautiful Meg. So I feel you, Lainey, so much deep in my soul. There are so many things that I want to do, that I need to implement, but I have to stay in my lane. So I remind myself of that daily. What's helping me is I am trying to be very, just purposeful of putting it in my calendar, right? So I'm visual, I see it, and keeping one thing that I need to do a week is saving me. Because if I don't put that one thing in, I think I'm going to get all of them done, and I am so lying to myself. So just your mindset is going to feel better if you accomplish the one thing, and that's what's helping me not feel overwhelmed, because I'm like everyone else. I'm like, oh, I want to do this. Oh my God, I have to do that. One thing. That's it. If I can do one thing a week. So thank you so much for allowing me to share.
I love that. And yes, I completely agree, Lainey. All the love, because I think we are all feeling the exact same thing, and just focusing on whatever that one thing that you need to get done before your vacation or before the kindergarten soccer game or whatever it is. We've heard from Dean and Donna. So Anna, let's wrap up with you.
Awesome. Thank you, Meg, for leading. You're doing a great job. So I want to say I used to hate tracking. I used to argue with my team leader about tracking. So just know what I'm about to say, I'm saying with passion, because I've seen the difference it can make. And I think tracking is a universal challenge. But why are we talking about tracking with this? It gives freedom. Like, I loved what Orly said. Thank you so much for sharing. And when the big picture is, how many contacts does it take for me to get a closing? It gives you the freedom to take time off. So I know there were days where I would think, I know I'm missing leads. I know that, but it's 5 o'clock and I have family stuff going on tonight and I'm leaving. And part of what helped give freedom to do that was knowing, as long as I hit the contact goal I need, it's okay that I'm missing leads tonight. Sure, I could make more money if I worked till 8 o'clock, but I can't get back the time with my family. And so knowing your numbers makes such a significant difference. And so I would just encourage everyone, track your contacts. I know it's not the most exciting thing, but the freedom it gives you, it gives you the ability to rest at night, knowing that you did what you need to do. And so if you hit your contact goal, just leave for the day. And obviously you have
What's the
business to attend to. But
For someone who feels overwhelmed by that, Anna, like
yeah,
me or Lainey, like what is
I
the
get that.
most simple way to get started with tracking?
I 100% get that. So I used to just keep a piece of paper beside me and do tick marks. So if somebody picked up the phone, and then eventually I had to put their name down because I would think, did I already tick mark this person? I can't remember. So writing the names down of each person who picked up the phone helped me keep it straight. And then I have a tracker I can share. I know James has trackers, but then just throwing it once a day into an electronic tracker. And if you're doing it right, so to speak, it's like a 30-second thing to throw it into a tracker. So I would just encourage anyone, if it feels overly complicated, it might be that you have too complicated of a tracker. That's a very common thing, because I'll hear people say I'm tracking, but I don't know how to interpret it. And that just means the tracker you have is way too complicated. So just keep a piece of paper throughout the day or do it on your phone. I'm more old school, so I like the piece of paper, but it gives freedom. And then this time of year with business planning, I know James is doing a clinic on that coming up. Like, start thinking now about how much time off you want next year. And you can pre-plan to get your contacts in 40 weeks if you only want to work 40 weeks. Anyway, I get very passionate about this because I've seen the freedom it can give. But if you can just start tracking your contacts and how many appointments you set each day, that alone will give you freedom to take time off.
I totally agree. And to me, it's similar to training for, a race or, just training for a 5K. Like you're marking your workouts either on your watch or on an app. And so I am not great at tracking, but the simple index card with like handwritten little boxes or tick marks is just where I've been able to get started. So thank you all so much for joining. The book we talked about is called Clockwork by Mike Michalowicz. I'm super excited to see some of you in Tampa for Advance and to see Mike Michalowicz, which I'm really excited about, along with John Acuff. Thanks for joining and can't wait to see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, Megan.